Hello and welcome to this evening's nightly broadcast. The Freedom Caucus Republicans threaten to block Kevin McCarthy's debt ceiling bill and then vote Kevin McCarthy out as Speaker of the House. Trump takes a swipe at his most loyal former staff members. Volodymyr Zelenskyy is ready to go on the offense and attack Russia. And Robert Kennedy Jr. points out the sickening corruption of Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out as a small news station. So thank you so much. Also, at the end of this broadcast, I'll tell you about a $10,000 cash giveaway my wife and I are doing. There will be 10 winners, and that ends at the end of this month. Now, the debt ceiling situation is wrapping up. The Congressional Budget Office has issued a new estimate concerning the financial impact of this deal on the economy. CBO Director Phillip Schwagel wrote a letter addressed to Kevin McCarthy, which concluded that the deal's new spending cap will save the country roughly $1.3 trillion over the next 10 years. On top of this, the IRS will receive less funding for enforcement, which means less revenue collected, but also less lower income families and middle class Americans being harassed by the IRS. Now, the current mandatory spending limit will also be decreased. Overall, all of these factors should lead to a lower interest payment for the federal government down the road. While President Joe Biden and Speaker Kevin McCarthy are in agreement on the new deal, Representative AOC of New York is furious. Reporter Reese Gorman, has reportedly been told by AOC that she will vote no on the new debt limit increase spending bill. While there are a few outliers like AOC that seem to be against the agreement, it will likely receive enough votes to pass, with Biden and McCarthy having enough votes from each party to pass the bill. Now, many Republicans from the Freedom Caucus also plan to vote no and say this bill will still win for Democrats, and they express disappointment in Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Now, it's not clear if after he votes, these same representatives will then vote to have Kevin McCarthy removed as Speaker. Remember, when he was voted in, it was made clear that if he did not do what they wanted, that they would then have him removed and that he would no longer be Speaker of the House. Well, enough people are mad that they're saying they might have him removed. Well, it's official. Representative James Comer has confirmed that the FBI has refused to comply with his subpoena, which sought to investigate Vice President Joe Biden and a supposed $5 million pay-to-play corruption scheme. Comer stated his committee will now be taking steps to hold FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with a lawful subpoena. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer and FBI Director Christopher Wray had an agreement regarding an informant file, a disagreement regarding an informant file that alleges that President Biden's involvement was in fact part of this bribery scheme. Now, Christopher Wray offered Comer and committee ranking member Jamie Raskin a chance to privately review the document, one Democrat and one Republican. But Comer refused and insisted on the FBI providing the subpoenaed documents as was requested. Now, Representative Comer stated that if the FBI fails to comply, House Oversight Committee will begin contempt of Congress proceedings against FBI Director Christopher Wray. What do you think is going on here? I would love to hear from you in the chat or in the comments down below, depending on when you see this. Why is the FBI working so hard to hide this information from Congress? Let me know your thoughts down below. I can tell you that Senator Chuck Grassley also expressed disappointment with the FBI's refusal to provide the unclassified record and emphasized that there should be consequences for this action. The White House denied the allegations against President Joe Biden, citing his previous statement on the matter. The issue revolves around interaction that took place during Joe Biden's vice presidency and apparently matches up with files that are allegedly on the Hunter Biden laptop, according to sources. Now, Breitbart News has reported that a source close to former Vice President Mike Pence has confirmed that Mike Pence will be announcing his run for President of the United States in 2024 in the next week. The source also bragged that Mike Pence is all action and not just talk. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Mike Pence would be a good president, or is he going to have a very difficult time because he went against Trump's MAGA base? Now, one quality any candidate who wants a real shot at becoming president has to have is being about taking action. For instance, a recent poll shows that Ron DeSantis' recent announcement has moved him 9 points closer to Donald Trump. However, Trump still commands a 34-point lead over Ron DeSantis. Trump's boldness and ferocity is hard to compete with, so it will be interesting to see if Pence or DeSantis even stand a chance of running against Donald Trump. But this same ferocity could be Trump's downfall, and people are citing it as one of his biggest weaknesses, as evidenced by the fact that today he verbally attacked his former press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany. He stated Kayleigh "Milquetoast" McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox News. Now, I am 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25. While 25 is great, it's not 34. So Trump continued to accuse McEnany of lying on national TV and stated the rhinos and globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars. So this is someone he used to have a really great relationship with, and now he's throwing her under the bus because she either purposely changed the numbers or made a mistake. Now, some are saying because it's Fox News and Fox News has soured on Donald Trump, this may have been purposeful, and that may be why he was verbally going after her. But either way, you know, his qualities sometimes get him in trouble, either on Twitter or now on Truth Social. Even the conservative media outlet Newsmax claimed he took it too far. Host Robert Finnerty said Trump's comments were bad taste for someone who has been so loyal to him throughout the years, and defended the wrong numbers she provided by stating, "She does work at Fox News. We know what happened with Tucker Carlson. Something's going on over there. We know what she's being told to say. It happens." Now, this is really interesting, and let me know your thoughts down below. Presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. said, "The media has been turned into a slavish government that seeks to control people and the stories we receive. If made president," he said, "he will dismantle the corruption that exists between the US government and media corporations." Basically, he says the government has become, the media has become an arm of the government, and they do their bidding in order to get the narrative that they want out into the public versus telling the truth. Now, Tucker Carlson said the exact same thing. Kennedy also said the corruption in Washington, D.C. is worse than you can imagine. He said Obama used the government to spy on the incoming Trump administration. This is disgraceful. But he also said that Trump was an owner of Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson stock, so he couldn't wait for their vaccines to be rolled out. So basically, he's saying Obama is corrupt and Trump is corrupt. But basically, what he's trying to say is they're all in bed with corporations that don't really care about the American people. Now, lastly, RFK took a swipe at Ron DeSantis, whom he said removed a poem from Florida libraries that openly showed the need for racial healing as a nation. He said the poem was removed, in his opinion, because the author was the girl that delivered the poem at Biden's inauguration. Wow. I mean, this guy took a jab at just about every big name out there. What do you think of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Would he be a good president? Would he be bold and actually go after the corruption in Washington, D.C.? Or are these just really good talking points? Let me know your thoughts down below. One of President Joe Biden's sexual assault accusers, Tara Reid, previously drew a lot of attention after she hinted that she was scared for her life earlier this month. However, an unexpected twist has occurred. Reid has defected to Russia and has applied for Russian citizenship because she said she's afraid to live in the United States. Reid explained why she's moving. She said, "I felt that while the 2024 election is gearing up, there's so much at stake, I'm almost better off here and just being safe. My dream is to live in both places, but it may be that I only live in this place, and that's okay." She's referencing moving to Russia. So she's saying that she's so afraid for her life and the Washington, D.C. establishment that she literally had to move to Russia for her life. Now, I don't know if any of this is true, but it was a big story in the news today. National Security spokesman Admiral John Kirby stated that Reid's claims about feeling unsafe in America are unmerited. When asked if Reid may be part of a Russian influence campaign against Joe Biden, Kirby stated that there is no evidence that she is a Russian asset. However, Kirby did say that it wouldn't surprise him if Putin was planning to interfere in the election. So Russia's going to be involved in the election again, according to Democrat John Kirby. Now, Ukraine's defense minister, Oleksiy Rezhkinov, has provided more details on the coming counteroffensive planned against Russia and Vladimir Putin. He stated, "I am sure that we will be able to make breakthroughs during this counteroffensive in the south, in the east, at 2 or 3 places on the battlefield. This will trigger a new movement of withdrawal of Russians from our territory because they have made a new mobilization and they are many beginners without experience, without mastery of weapons. Wagner used detainees, and for the siege of Bakhmut, for 8 months, 60,000 men died or were wounded in combat." So basically, he's saying we have a very good chance of successfully attacking Russia on Russian territory because Russia's military is depleted and they're also using a bunch of newbies to fight Putin's war. Now, while Ukraine may be losing the battle right now, Russia is definitely acting as if they're intimidated with all of the different drones attacking Moscow. Reports indicate that the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, no longer wants to travel outside of the country for fear of being arrested and tried in international crime courts. Putin is already a very paranoid man, and with the recent assassination attempt on his life, I doubt he feels very safe in his own country. And this is what Prigozhin of the Wagner Group has been saying. If this war doesn't end soon, Putin, you will have Russians rise up against you and their families and the military. And so he's calling for this war to now come to an end. Now, this is my update for this evening. Before you go, I want to remind you that Casey and I are giving away $10,000 in cash. That giveaway ends at the end of this month, and there will be 10 winners selected from my YouTube community, and they will be alerted via the email used to register for the giveaway. At the end of this broadcast, I'll have my team members put a link down below. Now, before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you stopping by today. There's a lot of places to get your news, so thank you so much for supporting this channel, and I will see you on the next video.